The second overall prospect in the Texas Rangers organization is Josh Jung, another college player, an advanced college player back in the time in the 2019 draft. We took him 8th overall, and this is when the draft philosophy started to change for the Texas Rangers, okay? This is when we started taking our college players. And Josh Jung, kind of an interesting story this year. So out of spring training, he fractured his shin, I believe, somewhere down in that area. And before that injury, the talk was that Josh Jung would possibly be in the major leagues after the All-Star break. However, I think the Rangers played this smart because we've rushed many prospects in the past. Odor, Profar, probably Mazzara, maybe Gallo. A lot of those guys were pushed. Matt Bush, for instance, a lot of those guys were rushed to the major leagues. And whenever Josh Jung was in the minor leagues, he was performing extremely well for AA. And eventually he got up to AAA. He was performing well. But we didn't need to add him this year, okay? Especially later down the year, whenever the games were useless, we would have just been starting his service time clock a lot sooner. I know it's not popular to hold people back in the minors, but whenever we're playing for games that don't even matter, why would we call up Josh Jung and then he'd be a free agent a lot sooner? And that means he'd leave the organization sooner. But yeah, so he was performing really well at AA, and then he got promoted to AAA. He was performing really well. So my expectations for Josh Jung this year is that obviously they're gonna give him an invite to spring training. That's non-negotiable for the future at the third base position. However, the biggest question mark for the Texas Rangers is, will he be the starting third baseman opening day? I'm 50-50 on this one right now. I remember I'm trying to think back to the Willie Calhoun situation. Whenever the Rangers they believed in Willie, but they also wanted to give him competition. You could argue that Willie and Josh Jung are just different players. But maybe the Rangers want to give him, you sign another Brock Holish or Charlie Culberson type of player. You let him play a little bit in the minors just so he has to prove it. And then you could trade that guy, or it's just another guy that is a leader, because there's no denying that Charlie Culberson and Brock Holt were extremely valuable leaders. Obviously, their play was dreadful, but their leadership was tremendous this year. So I'm 50-50 on this. I think if he's playing really well in spring training, I don't think there's a way where he's not the opening day starter. But if he's just average, maybe you do send him down to AAA. But I definitely think you have to give him some competition at spring training. You can't just go in there and say, oh, this is your job, Josh. But I think we do have players in the organization like Andy Ibanez, Johnny Hernandez, and then maybe we can have some outside minor league free agent signings, etc., to give him some competition. But one thing we need to think about is, do the Rangers want to start like all their top prospects time clock at the same time? Notably Cohen, Josh Jung, maybe a few other guys. I mean, we have started the clocks on AJ Alexy, Glenn Otto. I'm 50-50, but I'm going with the notion if he's hot out of spring training, he'll probably be the starter, but we need to give him competition. We can't just give him the job by default. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for staying to the very end of this video. And if you liked it, please give a thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel, because I'm your #1 source for all things Rangers on YouTube. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.